Life never comes with a guarantee of perfection. Every moment carries a lesson, and every situation, good or bad, is an opportunity for growth. We often think smiling is a sign of happiness, but in reality, it is a symbol of strength. To smile in moments of stress, pain, or confusion is not weakness, it is wisdom. It means you are choosing peace over chaos, calm over conflict, and resilience over resistance. Every individual on this planet faces problems, setbacks, heartbreaks, or failures. But the real difference lies in how we respond. Some break down while others break through. The one who smiles through the storm becomes the master of their mind. Accepting all situations with a smile doesn't mean you're ignoring reality. It means you are embracing it with dignity, refusing to let it control you. Why is acceptance important? Because resistance creates pain. When we resist change, deny setbacks, or fight circumstances beyond our control, we only invite frustration and anxiety. But when we accept them with a smile, we make space for healing, transformation, and power. Smiling in tough times is not acting, it's understanding. It's understanding. It's knowing that everything is temporary. The good times don't last forever, but neither do the bad. By smiling, you are simply saying, I trust the process. I believe better days are ahead. I am not giving up. A smile is contagious. It inspires others. And it radiates positivity even in the darkest times. And most importantly, it is a message to the universe that you are ready for whatever comes next. Not because life is easy, but because you are strong. So next time life throws a curveball, don't panic, smile, face it, accept it, and rise above it. Q. A smile in difficult situations represents inner strength. It means you are choosing not to be consumed by negativity. While others may break down, your smile says you are emotionally in control. Resisting situations we can't change creates unnecessary suffering. But acceptance allows us to work with life rather than against it. When you smile through acceptance, you open yourself to solutions instead of stress. Many think smiling in tough times is fake. In truth, it's not about ignoring problems. It's about choosing how you react. It is saying, yes, it's hard, but I will carry myself with grace. Both joy and sorrow are fleeting. When you smile through the pain, you remind yourself this moment will pass. This attitude builds emotional endurance and stops you from making impulsive decisions. Your outer expression affects your inner state. Smiling, even when forced at first, sends signals to the brain that promote calmness, optimism, and hope. It realigns your mental state in a positive direction. Your smile during chaos isn't just healing for you, it's motivating for others. People around you see strength in your calmness, and they begin to believe that they too can handle life's challenges gracefully. When faced with a tough situation, panic creates confusion and fear. A smile, however, represents your choice to remain at peace. It shows you are grounded and confident in finding a solution. Accepting situations with a smile shows emotional and spiritual maturity. It proves you've learned that external events shouldn't shake your inner world. You don't control what happens to you, but you do control how you carry yourself through it. Most people associate a smile with joy, laughter, or celebration, but a deeper, more powerful dimension of a smile emerges during difficult times. When you choose to smile in moments of discomfort, stress, or emotional turmoil, you are not putting on a mask to hide your pain. Rather, you are showcasing your inner strength. A smile in such moments is a conscious decision to rise above your circumstances, to not be defined by them. It is a declaration that although life may be chaotic, you are still in control of how you carry yourself. In the face of adversity, anyone can cry, scream, or complain, but it takes a courageous heart to remain composed and smile. This smile is not one of denial. It is one of quiet defiance. It says, I will not let this situation defeat me. It is a signal of emotional intelligence and resilience, a reflection of someone who has understood that suffering is part of the human experience, but suffering with grace is a choice. Smiling through pain doesn't mean you're not hurting. It means you refuse to let the hurt own you. It means you refuse to let the hurt own you. It's an affirmation of hope, a way of telling yourself and the world that better days are coming. And until then, you choose to carry your burdens with dignity. People who smile in adversity are not weak. They are warriors in disguise, strong enough to stay grounded while the storm rages around them. Life is unpredictable, and not everything goes according to our plans. In such moments, our first instinct is often to resist mentally, emotionally, and even physically. We deny what's happening, we question why it's happening, and we struggle to change what is often beyond our control. But this resistance doesn't solve the problem. It amplifies our suffering. When we resist reality, we create inner friction, and this internal conflict leads to stress, frustration, anxiety, and emotional exhaustion. Acceptance is not surrender, it is wisdom. It is the understanding that while we may not be able to control the situation, we can control our response to it. By accepting a situation, especially a difficult one, we stop wasting energy on wishing it were different. We redirect that energy toward dealing with it more calmly and constructively. When we accept what is, we allow ourselves to adapt, adjust, and evolve. This mental flexibility gives us clarity and opens the door to solutions. Smiling in the face of an unwelcome situation is a powerful act of acceptance. It shows that you have made peace with the moment rather than fighting against it. Your smile becomes a sign that you're no longer draining yourself trying to rewrite reality. Instead, you are embracing it, learning from it, and allowing it to shape you into a stronger version of yourself. Acceptance also prevents emotional paralysis. Often resistance leads to inaction. We feel stuck because we're so busy rejecting what's happening. But when we accept the present, we free ourselves to move forward. That smile on your face is not just a gesture, it's a breakthrough. It reflects a silent but powerful shift from resistance to resilience. There's a common misconception that if someone is smiling during difficult times, they must be pretending, hiding their true emotions, or avoiding the seriousness of the situation. But this view is not only incorrect, it undermines the deeper meaning of what it truly means to smile during adversity. A smile in hard times is not a sign of ignorance or avoidance. Rather, it is a conscious act of emotional strength and maturity. It is the ability to acknowledge the reality of pain while choosing not to let that pain take away your peace. Smiling doesn't mean you are blind to the challenges in front of you. It doesn't mean you're unaffected or that you're pretending everything is fine when it clearly isn't. What it does mean is that you have the courage to face the truth without allowing it to harden your heart. You are aware of what's going wrong, but you refuse to be consumed by it. You understand the gravity of the situation, but instead of reacting with fear, anger, or despair, you choose to respond with grace and self-control. When you smile in the face of problems, you are not denying reality. You are mastering your mindset. You are choosing to focus on the things you can control: your attitude, your energy, your perspective. You are refusing to give your peace away to circumstances that don't deserve that power. Your smile becomes a quiet rebellion against negativity. It says, I acknowledge this moment is hard, but I won't let it break my spirit. This kind of smile is rooted in awareness and inner resolve. It comes from a place of clarity, not confusion. And while others may mistake it for weakness or naivety, it is in fact a sign of someone who understands that pain is temporary and perspective is everything. One of the most important truths to remember in life is that nothing lasts forever. Joyful moments fade, just as painful ones do. Situations, whether good or bad, are like waves. They rise, they crash, and eventually they pass. This understanding is a powerful tool for emotional stability. When you remind yourself that every situation is temporary, you develop a kind of mental resilience that helps you stay grounded even when everything around you feels like it's falling apart. Often in difficult times, it feels as though the pain will never end, the problem will never be solved, and life will remain stuck in darkness. But if you look back, you'll notice that you've already overcome things you once thought were impossible. You've survived heartbreak, failures, betrayals, disappointments, and with time, those moments became memories. The storm eventually passed, even if it felt endless in the moment. That's the beauty of life. Change is inevitable. When you internalize this truth, your approach to adversity transforms. Instead of panicking or feeling hopeless, you can look at the situation and say, "This too shall pass." You begin to realize that pain is a chapter, not the whole story. And when you smile during such moments, you're not dismissing the pain, you are rising above it. Your smile becomes an anchor, reminding you that the present difficulty is not permanent and that your peace of mind does not have to be sacrificed just because circumstances are tough. Believing in the temporary nature of every experience helps you develop patience and hope. Oh, it allows you to face the moment without letting it crush your spirit. And most importantly, it teaches you to keep your balance, to not get overly attached to the highs or overly discouraged by the lows. When you accept this constant motion of life, smiling becomes easier, even in struggle, because you know deep down that this moment, like all moments, will eventually pass. A simple smile, even in the midst of difficulty, holds the power to change your emotional state and the energy around you. While it may seem like just a facial expression, a smile is actually a powerful psychological and physiological tool. Scientific research has shown that smiling, whether genuine or intentional, triggers the release of feel-good chemicals in the brain such as dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins. These natural mood boosters help reduce stress, lower blood pressure, and create a sense of calm and well-being, even if the situation itself hasn't changed. This is why smiling is not just an emotional response to positivity, it's also a generator of it. When you smile during challenging times, you're sending a signal to your brain that you are safe, in control, and choosing peace. It creates a feedback loop. You smile, your brain releases calming chemicals, and your mood slowly begins to lift. This doesn't make your problems disappear, but it makes you better equipped mentally and emotionally to handle them with clarity and courage. Smiling also reinforces the belief that things can and will get better. It becomes a symbol of hope, a quiet but firm declaration that you haven't given up. It's a reminder to yourself that while the current moment may be tough, you are choosing to face it with optimism. Hope doesn't mean ignoring pain. It means trusting that pain is not the end of the story. Your smile becomes the light in a dark room. It doesn't eliminate the darkness, but it illuminates the path forward. Moreover, your smile doesn't only impact you, it influences those around you. Positivity is contagious. When others see you smile in adversity, it lifts their spirits too. It reminds them that strength and hope are always available, even in the hardest times. Your smile then becomes a silent encouragement, not just to yourself, but to everyone in your presence. It becomes a powerful tool to create an atmosphere of resilience, faith, and forward movement, no matter how heavy the moment may feel. In moments of chaos or difficulty, people naturally look around for reassurance. They seek someone who radiates stability, strength, and calm, a person whose presence brings comfort without needing to say a word. When you smile during tough times, you become that person. You'll become that person. Your calmness becomes a source of inspiration. It tells others, if I can stay grounded, so can you. Your smile becomes more than just a personal coping mechanism. It turns into a silent motivation for others struggling to hold themselves together. Composure during adversity is not common. Most people react impulsively when things go wrong. Anger, anxiety, or panic often take over. That's why someone who smiles and remains composed stands out so powerfully. It shows a different kind of leadership, not one built on authority, but on emotional discipline. You show others what it means to respond with wisdom instead of reaction, to lead by example instead of loud words. Think of how encouraging it is to see someone who has every reason to complain, break down, or give up, yet chooses to stay steady and hopeful. Their attitude doesn't just impact themselves, it changes the atmosphere around them. That kind of inner strength is magnetic. It invites others to reflect, to calm down, and to adopt a similar mindset. It sends the message that no matter how bad things seem, falling apart isn't the only option. Even in families, friendships, workplaces, or teams, When just one person holds their composure and maintains a smile during a crisis, it has a ripple effect. Others feel a sense of direction and reassurance. Your resilience gives them permission to believe that the storm will pass, and they don't have to be ruled by fear or negativity. In this way, your personal strength becomes a gift to others. Your ability to smile in hardship becomes a living example that emotional stability is possible. It shows that strength is not in pretending to be unaffected, but in choosing how to carry yourself through the storm. When life suddenly shifts, when we receive bad news, face a setback, or encounter the unexpected, our natural reaction is often panic. Panic is the mind's way of trying to take control when it feels like everything is slipping away. But panic doesn't solve problems. It clouds judgment, fuels anxiety, and often leads to poor decisions. In contrast, choosing peace in the middle of uncertainty is an act of great inner strength. It requires self-awareness, emotional regulation, and deep trust in your ability to navigate through the storm without losing yourself. Smiling in such moments is a symbol of that peace. It's not forced positivity or blind optimism. It's a grounded reminder that you are not defined by the chaos outside you. Panic is reactive, but peace is intentional. When you smile instead of spiraling into fear, you're telling your body, your mind, and everyone around you that you're choosing to stay centered, composed, and clear-headed. This shift in energy allows you to respond rather than react, to think rationally instead of emotionally, and to make decisions that are rooted in clarity, not desperation. Choosing peace over panic also means embracing the truth that not everything can be controlled, and that's okay. Sometimes we panic because we falsely believe that control equals safety. But peace comes from understanding that even in the absence of control, you still have power, the power to breathe, to think clearly, to act wisely, and to maintain your dignity. Smiling becomes your shield, a gentle, visible sign that you are not letting external chaos dictate your internal state. Moreover, peace is not passive. It's a powerful form of resistance against the fear and negativity that try to overwhelm us in difficult times. When you stand in peace, you are not ignoring the situation. You are mastering it. Your calmness becomes your strength. Your clarity becomes your weapon, and your smile becomes the armor you wear as you face the storm head on, not as a victim, but as a resilient soul prepared to endure and overcome. True spiritual growth is not measured by how many prayers we say, how many books we read, or how many rituals we perform. It's revealed in how we respond when life doesn't go our way. Spiritual maturity shines brightest in our ability to accept situations without resentment, bitterness, or despair. It is the understanding that life unfolds with a greater intelligence and that every moment, whether joyful or painful, has been placed on our path for a reason. When you accept life as it is, without fighting it or falling into victimhood, you show deep inner growth. Acceptance does not mean liking what's happening, nor does it mean giving up. It means you are aware that resisting what is only increases your suffering. You've reached a level of self-awareness where you no longer ask, "Oh, why me?" in frustration. Instead, you ask, "Oh, what can I learn from this?" Or, "How can I grow through this?" That shift in perspective marks a major transformation of the soul. It means you are no longer controlled by the ego's need to control everything. You're guided by a higher wisdom that trusts the process, even when it's painful or unclear. A smile in this context becomes the expression of that spiritual insight. You smile not because everything is perfect, but because your faith is stronger than your fear. You've recognized that fighting reality drains your energy, while accepting it helps you align with peace and purpose. Even in disappointment, your smile says, "You may not understand this now, but I trust that it is shaping me into someone wiser, kinder, and more resilient." When you begin to accept situations with a smile, you stop living in constant resistance. You stop blaming others, stop doubting yourself, and stop questioning the universe's timing. Instead, you begin to flow with life. You see challenges as spiritual assignments and hardship as a form of refinement. of refinement. You don't run from struggle, you embrace it, knowing it carries within it a hidden blessing meant for your evolution. That is not weakness, that is not naivety, that is spiritual strength in its purest form. So the next time life throws you into the unknown, when situations seem unfair or outcomes don't go your way, pause, breathe, and smile. Not because everything is okay, but because you've chosen to be okay with everything. That smile is your silent power, your inner peace, your deep wisdom. It's a message to the world that while you may not control all that happens, you absolutely control how you carry yourself through it. Smile, not as an escape from reality, but as an embrace of it. Because when you accept all situations with a smile, you're not just surviving life, you're mastering it.